and with the Mahler movement specifically is because it's kind of difficult to put into words exactly how I feel about Mahler's adagietto. But Mahler, Gustav Mahler, if you guys have heard of him before, he is one of the absolute giants of orchestral writing. He's written so many things that have been in movies, in memorials, everything like that. But there's a little bit more information about the symphony itself. We are going to play the fourth movement adagietto from this. And before I continue, I would like to just warn you guys that this is going to be a very intimate moment for me, and I apologize for, but basically I want to dedicate this piece to three very important figures in my life. Number one, my grandpa, Vasilis Magasiotis. He was born and raised in Greece, and I'll explain a little bit how how this piece kind of fits into each one of these people. Another one, adagietto, my grandma, and my cat. He's not a person, but my cat Felix Magasiotis. I think that's his last name. But a lot of people say, especially in the notes, that this is a love letter to his wife, Alma Mahler. However, I think of this differently. I think this is a piece about memory, not about love. I think it goes through the journey of remembering all the best moments that you've had in your life, and maybe not remembering exactly how you felt in the best moments of your life. So it's kind of like you get I said I wasn't going to say a lot of ums today, but I'm saying so many ums, I'm sorry. But this especially relates to my grandfather, Vasilis Magasiotis, which is also my name, lo and behold, because he, at the end of his life, suffered from Alzheimer's as well, and I never really got to meet him, more in my younger years, but this piece I think is a perfect enrapture of like what kind of he was going through. And I'll never be able to understand, but the only time I really understand the fear that he might have had is when I played this piece with these beautiful people. I also dedicated this to my grandma, adagietto, because recently she suffered from a stroke, and she is currently doing much better, and we see her progress every day. But it was a very huge emotional journey for me and all of my family to see her regain control of her brain, and it really tested our memory and things like that. And also my cat, because my cat also unfortunately passed away last week, and I grew up with that little guy, and he was kind of sad. He was my only friend back in the day. I used to play handball with him against the little door, and he would go and chase it and everything. So so this piece is very special to me, and I feel very privileged to be able to play this piece with some of my favorite people in all of UCLA. So thank you very much, and please enjoy Gustav Mahler's fourth movement adagietto.